Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be learning what variables are. In the last few videos, we learned how to play around with different data types. For example, like numbers, we can do 1 plus 1, right? And it prints out the values. We can also play around with strings. We can also play out with booleans, right? But what if the values that we have, we need to store them somewhere. Right now, every single value, we need to write it explicitly. So for example, let's say hello. If you need to say hello, and then we need to add another sentence after that. My name is Purple, right? We need to keep adding that again and again. So if we say, hello, my name is Purple, and I am green, right? Every single time you need to add something to that, you need to keep typing the whole thing. So that's not reasonable, right? So it doesn't make sense for us to keep typing the same thing again and again. But what if you could store those values somewhere? There's a fun way of doing that. And the way you do that is by naming those variables. So let's say hello string. This is the name of the variable, and you assign hello to it. And then if I say print hello string, right, it prints out the value. So what exactly is happening here? So basically, you're putting this value hello in a box, right? And the name of the box is hello string. So think about it as for example, you're moving your apartments or moving your houses, and because there are so many boxes, you should be able to label them and see what's up. So for example, you name one of the boxes as electronics, right? So you know what's in it. So that's the same way variables work. You need to give it a name, and then you're storing some value in it. We can do that for anything. We can do that for numbers, booleans, anything you want. So let's do that. So let's say we have the variable number 1, you add an equal sign and you put 1, and let's say you print 1, right? It prints out 1. So what if we want to do something funky, right? You need to keep adding 1 multiple times, and then you say 1 plus 1 plus 1, it prints out 3. Isn't that so cool? So if we could either do it this way, right? We can do it this way too, but you need to keep a track of every single value, and you need to write it again. What if the value is like, let's say 1000, right? Do we actually want to keep typing it again and again multiple times? We don't have to, right? How can we save time? We can save time by writing, okay, we create a variable named 1000, you assign the value 1000 to it, and then instead of writing 1000 plus 1000 plus 1000, like the actual numerical values, you can just say 1000 plus 1000, and you can play around with multiple things too, right? And then 1. So 2001, right? You can also do that with Boolean values. So let's say is today Monday, and you can assign true to it, right? So, and then you say you print out the value is today Monday, and it'll print out true. You can also reassign the values, right? So for example, today is today Monday, and you reset the value to false, and you print it out again. It'll give you false. The one thing that you need to keep in mind is that you can't use certain words as variable names. So, and these are called like keywords. So for example, we'll learn what keywords are in the future videos, but just keep in mind, sometimes if you get an error, it means those words are reserved for the Python language use only, and there are such words in different languages as well. Okay, what else can we play around with? So let's say we want to stringify, we want to convert the one variable to a string. So you see it gets converted to a string. So what you're doing here is that you're saying, hey, take this variable 1 right here, and we know it's a number because it doesn't have any like quotation marks outside of it, and you're saying, hey, please convert that to a string. So str is short for string. So you're saying, please convert that to a string, and it gets converted. So I think you can do that with let's say 1 string, and you assign 1 to it. So this is the value 1, but in a string, you can convert this to an integer value. Let's see how that's done. Convert that, and then it prints string. That's awesome. So basically what you're saying is that please take this variable, 1 string, and convert that to an integer. So if you do that with something stupid, it'll give us an error. So for example, if you try to convert is today Monday, actually this will work because I'll tell you why. Is today Monday, and you convert that to an integer, it'll get 0. So this is something we didn't really talk about, so let's talk about that now. So if you turn the value of true to an int, it'll give you 1. And if you turn the value of false to an int, it's 0. So in most of the languages, this is how the values are. The false and the true Boolean values can also be converted to integers. So true always corresponds to 1 in integer. False always corresponds to 0 in integer, but that's not the example I was looking for. So let's say we can say string hello, right? And then we say hello, and we try to convert this to an int. This doesn't make sense, right? So how can you convert hello to a string? This would just throw us an error. As you see, it throws us an error. Awesome. So that's how you play around with variables. This becomes something like that's really, really important in the future videos. Make sure you understand this concept really well. Play around with it, and we'll continue in the future videos. Thanks so much, and I'll see you folks soon.